I got this off of Dave's page. He was looking at it and pointed some things out, and I just wanted to show them to you too. So this is the newsroom, and always watch the shit in the background because that's where the shit's really happening. So up here we've got a 12. That's your 3. Here's your rainbow. So we know there's Saturn. There's the rainbow. I can't tell what this is. Here you have a lake, which is water. You know, the abyss or whatever. And then you got this picture right here. And you know what that is? That's a dick and a set of nuts. That's a hairy bean bag. Okay? You can tell there's no studio there. Look at her. She's just projected onto a screen. She's not sitting in no fucking studio. That's a fucking green screen behind her. She's just a CGI cutout cardboard piece of shit, fake ass bitch that people have come to accept because they call this thing this digital transmission. So basically what they've done is they can just in real time manipulate a picture that's not even a real human being. And you accept it because it's so clear that you can actually see the fuck ups that they do. But yet everybody just accepts it as being fact. It's not. There is no TV station there, and there's no broad, and they damn sure ain't occupying the same space. It's just a computer graphic overlaid onto some fucking crazy ass screen that they put together in the background. Notice it's all red and blue, but that isn't what this video is about. Although I do give them props. The ball sack here looks exquisite. Somebody really put some time into that nut sack. Here's the news story right here. What's with the dick? The dick represents the male side of Saturn. You'll see a lot of farmers, because farmers, a lot of them are Masons. They'll put a crow, or not a crow, but a rooster on their weather vane. It's because it's a cock. I was in a bank out here in one of these farming communities, and somebody painted a rooster right on the window. And I told him, it looks to me like somebody's been worshiping Saturn. And the lady looked at me just like, oh, I know. That's why you see roosters in pictures. It represents a cock, male genital, just like it is right here. It's all about reproduction and the control of it. It's a big elaborate system. Anyway, let's get on to this. So here, Jesse Jackson. Notice it's ex-representative. Well, they don't call it they don't call them ex-presidents, do they? Even though they really are ex-presidents. So it's ex-Jackson. Jackson is Saturn. It's what it is. It's the Jackson. Jack is Jack in the Box. Right? You got 30 months. And they said of that, he'll probably only do 18. And I just started laughing. So anyway, he was sentenced to 30 months in prison. So that's a 3. Right? And there's 750. That's another 3. So there's your 33. At the top, you got 30. There's your 3 there. It says including 43,350. There's your 6. And it says the goddess of justice would not weep at an 18-month sentence. Jeez. Okay? Sandy Jackson. Sand is a reference to time. So Saturn and Jackson and Sandy. Okay? She got busted for stealing $171,000. There's your 9 there. Paid for with the campaign funds, including a Sub-Zero refrigerator. Now that's a stupid thing to put in the report if this was on the level. What's interesting about it is Fox News was talking about it, and one of their commentators said they used the word Jackson, hyphenated. They used the word power, like when he gets out of jail, he'll be back in power. And they also used the word rectify. Rectify is something that you do to change voltages. See, they're speaking in physics. They're not talking about some guy going to jail. This is a story about it and what it's doing. You know, what voltages it's running. You know, how it's like a story about it. It's like a story about it. And so there's a story written around what it is doing. And so that's why Tesla said if you understand the 369, you can control the universe, because it is what's running everything here. The universe being what we know to be reality. So it's just writing a coded story about itself. It's just that there's people that understand these codes, and it's like playing the stock market in a manner of speaking. If you know what it's going to do, then you know how to react to it. But nobody, I don't think anybody knows exactly how it works. But it's a story about itself. If you go read in the Jewish documentaries, they'll tell you that Saturn was Adam, he was Abraham, he was all the characters. Well, that would make sense if the whole story is about it. If it's all about him, then he's every character in it. Okay, so just, you know, so here, you know, they were talking about rectifying and power and all of this, and then we look at this. I don't know if you can read it. You might have to blow your screen up. In reference to a rectifier, motors have been used, early radio receivers called crystal radios. I used to mess with those as a kid. They were tuned in frequencies. You needed the right crystal to get the right frequency. Used a cat's whisker. There's the cat again. Remember we saw this? Remember, there's the cat's whisker. And we saw it here. And here's another kind of cat. I mean, if you look down in between her legs, it's a different kind of cat's whisker. But it's really, you know, comes down to that and this right here. Okay? So, crystal detector rectifier. So, you know, they're speaking of code, but they're not speaking that much code. So, this thing with Jesse Jackson, and that's probably more of a localized thing because it's a Chicago thing. It really, you know, I mean, does this picture here, I'm not trying to get off the subject, but you can't get off the subject because everywhere you go, you're on the subject. This thing, crystallized dark sky remixed. Yeah, what a coincidence. I mean, do you need anything else? Whatever.